Welcome back. Previously, we were discussing in detail what is meant by arithmetic mean and various cases and scenarios that has to be dealt under arithmetic mean. Let us discuss its merits as well as demerits briefly. Merits of arithmetic mean. First one, arithmetic mean is simple to understand. As we have discussed previously, all the cases, all the series which we have discussed in detail is very easy to compute and it's very easy to understand. Uh, there are three types of series, and the equations for finding the types of series is very easy. You just have to understand the pattern of question which it is related. So the arithmetic mean is very simple to understand and easy to calculate. Next one, arithmetic mean is easy to calculate as we have discussed previously. All the methods and cases, the equations and the methods are very easy to compute. You just need to identify which one is individual series, which one is discrete, and which one is continuous. And regarding the continuous as well as discrete series, there will be frequency. And for discrete as well as continuous, you need to understand and familiarize various cases, like the cases which we have discussed previously, like the class when it is given in negative values as well as positive values, and whenever it is given in less than value or more than values, in that cases you need to familiarize the various steps. Unlike these adjustments, all other methods and steps are very easy to calculate and compute. Next one, arithmetic mean can be determined in most of the cases. Yes, arithmetic mean is very easy and simple to understand, and it can be determined in almost all the cases, because arithmetic mean is just a mere representation of a group of numbers. So whenever you have or whenever you come across a group of numbers, it is very easy to identify the arithmetic mean of that numbers. So arithmetic mean is very easy to compute in almost all the cases if those cases are expressed in numerical terms or in quantitative terms. Next one, it is based on all the observations of the series. As you have gone through the various cases, we haven't left aside any value or any figures. If there are 10 values or figures in a question, we have taken all those 10 values. If there are different 5 classes in a question, we have taken all the classes in that series. We never left alone or left aside any values within the details given. We will understand that point in the coming areas, because in some methods you will be leaving or left aside some values, and in arithmetic mean you will not be leaving or set aside any figures or values during the computation part. That is why it is based on all observations of the series, because only through analysis of all the observations or only through taking all values only you can get a clear picture regarding the scenario. It is capable of more algebraic treatment. For computation purpose, we are using only 3 methods, and there are different algebraic treatment that can be done for further analysis of a series or a details. We are dealing with only individual, discrete as well as continuous series, and the answer which you have found on the base of all these 3 series or methods, which can be further analyzed or further computed for using various mathematical methods for various algebraic treatments. We are not doing any sort of algebraic treatments as per the syllabus, but you need to understand the concept that the figure or the answer which you have computed on the base of the various series can be further analyzed using various mathematical methods. Why we are using those further analysis? Because if you are doing further analysis on various answers, it ensures the accuracy or correctness of that figure. The more you are conducting algebraic treatments on your answer, the more consistent your answer will be, or the more right the answer will be. Since we are not computing any further treatment on those answers, You just understand the concept of the theory purpose, because we are not doing any algebraic treatment in the computation part. Next one, arithmetic mean is stable. It does not differ from sample to sample. We have discussed three types of classes method, and in all these three methods we have followed the same pattern of computation. So it means the arithmetic mean is stable. It is not changed depending upon the sample, because we have dealt three types of classes. One is on the basis of temperature with both positive and negative. In one case it was given as less than certain value. In another case it was given as more than certain value. Still we followed the same equation and pattern for all these methods. That ensures the stability of that method. Because in the methods or the tools or measures which we are going to study in the future classes, you can see that for one pattern of question you are doing one method, and another pattern of question you are doing another method. That doesn't ensure stability. That was the concept. So let us discuss some of the demerits of arithmetic mean. Even though these are the merits of the arithmetic mean, there are further merits regarding the arithmetic mean, because of these merits it is considered as a universally accepted method for computing average. These are some of the major merits. Try to find more merits, because sometimes you may come across a question where you have to discuss in detail the merits of the arithmetic mean. So mere studying this 6 point doesn't mean that you can get full marks in an essay theoretical question. So try to identify more merits regarding arithmetic mean. That is an assignment. Just try to find merits as well as demerits. Next one, demerits. Arithmetic mean is affected by extreme values. That is an important issue, because as we have discussed earlier, arithmetic mean include all the observations of the series. Sometimes, for example, in a class there are 10 students and a test is conducted, and it was conducted for out of 100, and out of 10, 9 students secured 0 marks, and one student got 100 out of 100. So what is the average mark of that class? It is quite easy. Total marks secured by all the students is only 100, because only one student got 100, all the others got 0. And 100 divided by number of students. There are 10 students in the class. So 10. 100 divided by 10, the answer is 10. That is, the average marks of the students in that particular class for that test was 10. How can it be 10? Because out of 10, 9 got 0 and 1 got 100. Because of that extreme value only, the average mark of that class was come to 10. That is an issue in case of an arithmetic mean, because when you are dealing with something or some subject regarding arithmetic mean, if any extreme value come across, as we have discussed an example here, likewise the entire answer is manipulated. That is an important demerit in an arithmetic mean, because arithmetic mean is affected by extreme values. Whenever there is an extreme value, extreme means value that is not at all closely related to the numbers which are given in that particular question. As just like the example which I have mentioned now. Whenever there is an extreme value, the entire mean is manipulated. So you can't always rely on arithmetic mean. That is one important issue. Next one, usually mean does not coincide with any of the observed values. Just like the example just I have mentioned earlier, the mean in that case was 10. And the marks of the students out of 10, 9 was 0 and 1 was 100. Is there any relation between 10 and mean arithmetic mean 10 and the marks of the students? In that case, the mean and the marks doesn't coincide. But the theory of the mean is that the mean is done to find a value that represents the entire items in that series. So sometimes the mean does not coincide with any observed value. Observed value means actual events, and coincide means the mean doesn't represent that details. That is one important issue. Next one, it is not suitable for averaging ratios and percentage. See, we have discussed about 5 to 6 questions, and in none of the questions we didn't dealt anything related to ratio or percentage. And it is an important issue. Why? Because in almost all the business situations, we are representing various financial transactions as well as business related factors in ratios and percentages. Then how we are going to use this arithmetic mean in a business situation? That is an important issue. It is not suitable for averaging ratios and percentages. And why these ratios and percentages is not linked to arithmetic mean? Arithmetic mean is depending on fact and figures. Ratios and percentage is actually a relative measure. That is why it is not coinciding or not going to match with ratios and percentages. So arithmetic mean cannot be used in case of ratios and averages as well as percentages. Next one. It cannot be calculated for qualitative data which cannot be measured numerically. And this is an important issue in almost all the measures in arithmetic or measures of general tendency, because we can't use all these measures in case of a qualitative factor. We all know what is meant by qualitative factor as well as quantitative factor. Quantitative factor in case of a mark, in case of a class, the quantitative factors are age, mark are the examples of quantitative factors. But qualitative factors are IQ of the student, the beauty of the student, the performance of the student. All these are the qualitative factors of the students. And mean cannot be used in case of a qualitative factor, because if you go through the cases which we have discussed earlier, in all these cases there was numerical measures. There was no sort of qualitative factors. So mean cannot be used in case of a qualitative study. Sometimes mean may give misleading or absurd results in some areas. Let us discuss that deeper with an example. A sample average number of children per family in a village may work out as 3.2, which is impossible. That is, in a question there was a computation for finding the average number of children per family, and by using the arithmetic mean it was found that the average number of children per family was 3.2. How can you say that it is 3.2? 3.2 means there are 3 children and 0.2 child, that is 20% child. How can we say that there are 3 children and 0.2 child? Usually we represent number of children in a family as 1 child, 2 children, 3 children, 4 children, like that. How we are going to say that 3.5 children? So arithmetic mean cannot be used as a universal representation in such situation. That is why it is said that misleading or absurd results are given. And finally, in case of a frequency distribution with open-end classes, the mid values of all classes cannot be obtained. Therefore, in such distribution, mean cannot be calculated accurately. Open-ended classes means the classes just we have discussed in the previous session, like the less than 10 or the more than 10 situation. That such cases are known as open-ended classes. In such situation, for the computation purpose, we have assumed a class on the basis of details given. But when it comes to accurate computation of an average, such assumptions cannot be deeply dependent. That is an issue of an arithmetic mean. Even though arithmetic mean is universally accepted as the most best fitted method, it also suffers from some of the demerits. These are the major demerits relating to arithmetic mean. So try to find some more points relating to demerits of arithmetic mean. and try to find more points regarding the merits and demerits of arithmetic means. Sometimes you may come across a question where a theory may be asked on the basis of this area. So you have to be prepared very well for any questions. So try to find more points. That is just an assignment for your convenience. Try to find more points. We will be discussing about the various different measures that comes under measures of Tyndall tendency in the coming sessions. That's all for today. Thank you.